The Mikoyan-Gurevich MiG-21MF Fishbed-J represents one of the most influential upgrades in the long life of the MiG-21 family. It was created to answer the demand for a lightweight, fast, reliable, and more powerful interceptor that could also take on multi-role duties without increasing the aircraft's size or complexity. The MF variant introduced a refined balance of aerodynamic improvements, structural strengthening, increased fuel capacity, and an upgraded engine that gave the aircraft sharper performance at altitude and better endurance during demanding combat missions. Although compact in appearance, the MiG-21MF was built with a design philosophy focused on efficiency, acceleration, and high-speed engagement, turning it into one of the most successful export fighters of the Cold War era. The exterior design of the MiG-21MF stays loyal to the unmistakable MiG-21 silhouette but enhances several structural and operational aspects. The pointed nose houses a variable geometry intake cone designed to regulate airflow into the engine at both subsonic and supersonic speeds. This system ensures reliable engine performance when the aircraft transitions beyond Mach 1, one of the core strengths of the MiG-21 series. The delta wing configuration provides low drag, excellent structural strength, and high stability at high speeds. Though not known for gentle low-speed handling, the delta shape allows for impressive climb rates and rapid energy recovery during air combat. The fuselage is streamlined to minimize resistance while providing space for additional fuel and improved avionics in the MF version. Reinforced airframe sections allow the aircraft to handle higher G loads, making it more adaptable to sharp maneuvers during close-range dogfights. Moving across the exterior details, the MiG-21MF incorporates upgraded hardpoints for carrying a wider range of weapons compared to earlier models. These include infrared air-to-air missiles, unguided rockets, bombs, and optional gun pods for ground attack missions. This enhancement significantly expanded the role of the aircraft beyond interception. The vertical stabilizer and tail surfaces were modified to improve stability during high-speed maneuvers and while carrying external stores. The landing gear retained its simple and rugged design, suitable for short runways and rough field operations common in many nations that operated the MiG-21MF. One of the notable exterior changes includes the addition of a GSH-23 twin-barrel cannon pod in later configurations, improving the aircraft's lethality in close-range engagements. The interior and cockpit of the MiG-21MF reflect the utility-focused design principles of Soviet engineering, emphasizing practicality, durability, and pilot familiarity. Although not luxurious or spacious, the cockpit design provides the essential instruments and controls positioned logically for combat operations. The MF variant introduced improved avionics, including upgraded radar and navigation equipment that enhanced situational awareness and allowed for more effective target acquisition. The gauge layout remains analog, but the organization supports quick reading during high-stress situations. Updated communications equipment allowed for safer coordination in multi-aircraft formations. The ejection seat was also improved to increase survivability, providing better performance across a wider envelope of altitudes and speeds. The pilot's view from the cockpit is dominated by the iconic nose and sharply swept wings. Despite this, visibility is adequate for most combat scenarios, particularly high-speed interception where frontal view is essential. The canopy's simple clamshell design offers structural reliability and good forward clarity, although rear visibility is more limited. Storage space within the cockpit remains minimal, as the aircraft prioritizes lightweight efficiency. The control stick, throttle quadrant, and essential switches fall easily within reach, supporting the fast reaction combat style that the MiG-21MF was built to handle. The overall cockpit ambience reflects a fighter that values responsiveness and direct control over digital assistance systems, giving the aircraft an unmistakably raw and engaging flying experience. The evolution of the MiG-21MF's avionics marked a significant leap forward compared to earlier Fishbed variants, giving pilots a more confident sense of control during high-speed maneuvers and increasing mission flexibility. The radar system, though still modest by modern standards, offered improved air-to-air detection ranges and better stability against ground clutter. This made the aircraft more dependable during low-altitude interceptions and allowed pilots to track targets that would have previously slipped beneath the radar horizon. The cockpit layout, centered on analog instrumentation, was refined to create a more intuitive environment that supported long missions and enabled quicker decision-making in intense combat situations. This refinement became essential in high-pressure dogfights where rapid situational awareness shaped survival and combat effectiveness. The MiG-21MF integrated an upgraded engine that significantly affected the aircraft's acceleration, climb rate, and responsiveness. The R-13-300 turbojet brought a new level of thrust that made the aircraft feel more energetic during both takeoff and high-G maneuvering. Pilots trained on older MiG-21 variants often described the MF version as noticeably more confident in sharp turns and vertical climbs, giving it improved performance during supersonic engagements where energy retention determined victory. The engine's reliability also improved flight safety and reduced maintenance frequency, which was especially valuable for nations operating under limited budgets or in wartime conditions where spare parts were scarce. The aircraft's air intake cone, an iconic feature of the MiG-21 family, was modified to optimize airflow regulation at varying speeds. This contributed to more stable engine performance during rapid transitions from low speed to supersonic flight. The precision of the airflow system helped the aircraft avoid compressor stalls during aggressive throttle adjustments, a characteristic that pilots appreciated when pushing the jet to its limits in close combat. Combined with its small aerodynamic profile and highly swept delta wing, the MiG-21MF delivered a balanced blend of speed, agility, and simplicity that allowed pilots to adapt quickly to changing combat environments. The internal structure of the MiG-21MF was engineered with durability in mind. The frame was designed to withstand intense aerodynamic stress when performing high-speed brake turns or vertical maneuvers, and the designers placed special emphasis on minimizing structural fatigue during repeated supersonic operations. This made the aircraft suitable for prolonged service in harsh climates, including desert, jungle, and mountainous regions. Many nations that received the MiG-21MF valued its ability to operate from rough, minimally developed airstrips, a capability that expanded their defensive reach and enabled flexible deployments across remote bases. The avionics suite included navigation aids that allowed for improved cross-country flight and greater mission autonomy. This was particularly important for countries with large, sparsely populated territories where long patrol distances required consistent and reliable navigation support. Ground-controlled interception systems were heavily integrated into the MiG-21MF's operational profile, allowing ground radar stations to guide the fighter toward incoming threats with precision. Even though the aircraft was equipped with onboard radar, the reliance on ground-based control made it highly effective in nations with established radar networks. In terms of weapons integration, the MiG-21MF supported a versatile loadout that expanded its combat role beyond pure interception. The ability to carry different missile types allowed the aircraft to adapt to both short-range and medium-range engagements. The use of infrared-guided missiles gave pilots the option to engage targets without relying solely on radar locks, making the aircraft more unpredictable and harder to counter. Additionally, the jet retained the internal cannon, a feature that proved crucial in close-range dogfights where missiles were either depleted, jammed, or unsuitable for extremely tight-turning battles. The precision of the weapons delivery system improved the aircraft's strike accuracy, supporting missions against ground targets with greater confidence. Although not a dedicated strike platform, the MF variant allowed air forces to use it for secondary ground attack tasks, including disruption of enemy convoys, radar installations, and command posts. The addition of underwing pylons provided flexibility in mission planning, enabling air forces to equip the jet for scenarios ranging from defensive interception to limited offensive operations. This multifaceted approach made the MiG-21 MF a valuable asset for nations with limited fighter inventories that needed each aircraft to fulfill multiple roles. The MiG-21MF's landing performance was refined through adjustments to the wing surfaces and control systems. Although the aircraft required careful handling during landing due to its delta wing characteristics, pilots developed techniques that minimized sink rates and ensured smoother touchdowns. The sturdy landing gear supported repeated operations from rough or semi-prepared runways, allowing the jet to remain mission-capable even when infrastructure was damaged or limited. This flexibility played an important role in prolonged conflicts where air bases were frequently targeted, ensuring that the MiG-21MF could continue operating under pressure. The fuel system enhancements extended the aircraft's flight duration, allowing it to stay airborne longer during patrol missions or conduct deeper interception profiles. The ability to mount drop tanks provided additional range, which several air forces relied on to maintain border patrols in contested regions. Although the aircraft was not designed for long-endurance flights, these improvements allowed pilots to remain on station long enough to identify threats and engage them effectively. The combination of increased fuel efficiency and improved thrust-to-weight ratio contributed to a more balanced combat endurance profile, making the MiG-21MF more capable in real-world missions. The durability of the MiG-21MF's components meant that the aircraft required less frequent overhauls, reducing operational costs over its lifetime. Many air forces continued flying the MF variant for decades because its maintenance demands were manageable and its mechanical simplicity allowed for repairs using basic equipment. The jet's reliability under strenuous operating conditions made it appealing to nations needing dependable defense capabilities without the expense of modern, high-maintenance fighters. The availability of spare parts, along with widespread operator networks, further ensured that upkeep remained practical even for countries with limited resources. The MiG-21MF's long-term legacy is defined not only by its operational record but also by its profound impact on global airpower development. Many nations that introduced the aircraft during the Cold War continued operating it well into the 21st century, proving that the design was far ahead of its time. Engineers, pilots and strategists frequently acknowledge that the MiG-21MF changed their understanding of lightweight, fast interceptor doctrine, showing that a fighter does not need to be large or technologically overloaded to be effective. It only needs to be efficient, reliable and capable of delivering decisive results in combat. This fundamental philosophy encouraged later generations of aircraft designers, both in Russia and abroad, to examine simplicity as a strategic advantage rather than a limitation. The modernization programs dedicated to the MiG-21MF across different nations further demonstrate the aircraft's adaptability. Some operators upgraded avionics, added new radar systems, replaced cockpit displays, improved communication suites and integrated modern weapons to extend its combat relevance. These enhanced versions allowed the aircraft to participate in modern operational environments where digital connectivity, improved situational awareness and precision weapons are critical. Even with upgrades, the MiG-21MF retained its iconic flight profile: rapid climb, razor-sharp turns and a firm response to pilot input. Pilots routinely described the aircraft as unforgiving to mistakes but incredibly